Greetings and welcome to DevLook at Grey Goo. Today we're having a look at the RES game from Petroglyph. People who was prior to this working on classical games like Command and Conquer and Dune. Now they released the Grey Goo, which is a classical RES game which plays a lot like Command and Conquer 3, I would say. But let's have a look at what it actually has to offer. And I think the first thing I want to note here is that I left this frame rate counter in the top left corner for you to see, because this game, for me at least, and I saw that for some people in the forums as well, has pretty inconsistent frame rates. It's like in the menus, and this is very, it's not a very polygon intensive scene. I have 20 frames per second. This is kind of strange. If we go to the options and have a look at the video settings, you will actually see that I have pretty much everything cranked to the max. And the problem is I tried changing that, but that does not affect frame rate at all. It's like always the same. So I think the problem is not exactly in the settings. It's somewhere with an engine. I contacted the developers already about it, and they are aware of the problem and they are working on a fix. While we're in the menu, let's have a look at what other options the game has to offer. First of all, the gameplay options have some game timers, cursor to game, tutorials, profanity filter, and then there's a group move at the slowest unit speed, which might be useful for some people who don't want to do too much micro, but I think that's fine. And then you can toggle the health bar display and mouse scrolling speed, which goes all the way up to 200%, which is kind of crazy. I'm not sure why you would want that. Maybe for people with disabilities. I'm not sure. I had to nick my scroll speed down to 65 because 100 was too much for me. Audio options has incredible amount of sliders here. You can pretty much change the volume of each and every sound in the game. And then you have a jukebox with almost 1.5, almost 2 hours of music by no one else than Frank Klepacki. You might know the guy because he wrote the soundtracks for like most of the games in Command and Conquer series, Dune, Dune 2, Dune 2000, and a lot of other very cool strategy games. If you are a strategy fan, you probably know that name. And then obviously you have the rebindable hotkeys for pretty much everything, but I never needed to rebind anything because I feel that the default configuration is actually pretty good. So before jumping into the skirmish mode, I want to show you the campaign. I was asked not to show you the missions beyond the third one and the cutscenes and everything, but I can tell you that the cutscenes are very fancy. So there are 15 missions, 5 missions per faction. So you have the beta faction, you have humans, and then you have the goo. And now we're going to jump into skirmish mode to actually have a look at all of those factions. So let's pick Grotto Assault. It's a very nice map. So let's start with having a look at the beta faction, which is this sort of aliens, and we're gonna play against the easy AI. I have to be frank here, I tried playing the campaign on normal at first, and I did beat the first mission after a second try. And then I just got drowned on the second mission. I could not beat the AI, and I got killed in 10 minutes when I tried to play on normal. So I nicked it down to easy, and after 10 tries, I actually finished the second mission. And if you want to know the duration, it took me to beat, 12 missions in campaign out of 15. It was about 8 hours. So this game is definitely not an easy one, and it's definitely not as quick-paced as something like StarCraft, for example. It's a very slow and very steady game. I would say it's hasteless. And I actually like it. It feels like the old Command and Conquer games. Command and Conquer 3 in particular, the old and great one. Alright, so here we have, this is our base, and I start with my headquarters and commando, which is a basic infantry unit. So we have to actually build our resource mining. I like to toggle the display resource on because then I can right away see them on a map. So, how do you build stuff? Well, you don't have to build any harvesters or whatever. Here we have our menu for building things. Let's build structures, and the first structure you build is actually a refinery. So the refinery automatically builds the extractor and will automatically create the needed needed amount of harvesters to gather this to gather the resources from extractor in the most efficient way. So basically you don't have to care too much about microing that, you know. I think this is a very good thing because I'm pretty terrible at microing pretty much everything. That's why I never play StarCraft in multiplayer. Well, rather I tried to, but I got usually horribly destroyed after like second match when I get matched up to someone who is better than me. So yeah, I am very much in favor of. Oh, he's a beta as well, actually. Okay, kill him. Yes, kill that guy. Right. Okay, so what I was saying that yeah, this game is very much more slow paced, and you know you have to do less micro in it. You don't have to manage those harvesters. You don't have to actually manage the workers and a lot of other things. So let's actually start by building commandos. As you might have noticed, the base works in sort of a modular fashion for betas. So you have this headquarters and you can attach other things to them. So I think we can, yeah, let's do a tank attachment. So the way it works is that you have your factory, which can build units, and to build advanced units, you need to attach attachments. I don't know a better way to put this. But basically when you attach a new attachment, you will unlock the different units. So for example, when we build a tank attachment, I will get a tank unit, which is pretty beefy and can, you know, do a lot of damage, but is moving quite slow. We have other thing here. So how do you expand this base? Well, one way is by building hubs. So you can build a hub here, for example, and then we can connect, say, refinery to that hub and another silo or maybe hangar for air units. Yeah, let's I think we need another refinery and we need to put it here. Obviously, I could have put the refinery to my main base as well, but that would mean the harvester would have to go all the way here. Obviously, that would not actually impact the production or harvesting rate. But that would put my harvesters on risk because the enemy can just come and attack me and destroy everything, yeah? Okay, let's kill that guy, yeah, that's nice. Okay, we can also build walls, so this is the way of defending for betas. Let's put it this way. Okay, we are low on money, so let's actually pause some stuff. Yes. What? I said pause the yeah, let's pause the construction. That's what I wanted. Yeah, let's first finish that refinery. And yeah, this basically the whole faction is sort of works in a modular way and can be distributed around the map pretty quickly. Not as quickly as the Goo though, but it's quite mobile. Okay, and the walls are acting not just as the walls, but as well as the sort of turret placeholders. And the way you create turrets is that you can pick pretty much any unit that you have, if he has this icon, and mount him on a wall. That will turn him into essentially a turret, and depending, you know, on how big his gun is, he will do different type of damage as he was the single unit, and you can dismount it at any time and put him into the battle, which is I think pretty cool. Okay, let's build the hangar. Beginning construction. Alright, I think that was maybe not the best idea because I can only build scouts here. Then yeah, let's sell it. Let's build a medium hub then. Is there a good place for it? Not, yeah, that looks like a good space. Alright, so you go here, and now let's go scouting. So, this game is, you know, the StarCraft was more about resource control and rush. Okay, we have another guy, whatever, let's ignore him, let's go. But this game is mostly about building your base, making it very solid, because if you don't do that, at least, you know, that's how I played against the AI. AI managed to rush me pretty quickly if I was stalling too much. So building a base and controlling it is a very very good thing to do indeed. Okay, let's build a... Do we want a large factory or do we want a hangar? We already have a factory, let's do a hangar. Then let's do an air attachment. So do we need an artillery attachment as well. Alright, and then we can build a large factory as well here. Okay, it looks like we have enough resources, and he already brings to us a attacker unit. Okay, let's produce some predators, and we can put them on the walls then. So yeah, in terms of minimizing the micro, you can as well auto rebuild units, and since there are 4 slots, you can actually chain them. So you can say I want to rebuild predators, then stalkers, then commandos, and then for example seekers. And okay, they kill them, good, and then it will build them in sequences. So it's pretty good to build your army up in this way. Okay, we have our, so I want one Stratos, which is a air scout, and then we can get some warbirds and maybe Nimbus. Oh yeah, we can get 3 warbirds. So basically the scouts can fly around anywhere they want, they don't need a place to sit down, but those warbirds and Nimbus, which is a bomber unit, they require space in the hangar to land and refill their ammo, because it expires, and basically, yeah, you run out of it, yeah? Alright, what we can build here, we can get anti-air units, we can get some artillery units. So as you can see, the large factory actually builds 3 units at a time. The queuing works in the same way. And we now have actually a Stratos. My guys, what is he doing here? No, don't shoot them. So, some more resources here, nothing interesting. Alright, where's my Stratos? Let's go scout. So having division in this game is actually extremely important, because like in terms of like if we're talking about say beta or humans, it's not like for beta it's actually quite hard to quickly attack through the mountains. But humans have some technology that allows them to do this, and Goo as well. So you have to be very careful, and you have to be, you have to know your surroundings. Okay, where is that guy? Yeah, he should be right here, right? So this was clear. So he's not expanded too much yet. Very important to know what the hell is he doing. All right, so he already has some harvesters here. Which means he probably built some, extractors already. It's kind of crazy rate of expansion the AI has. Does he have anti-air stuff? No, he doesn't. Good. Alright. So we can get our guy back. And then maybe, so we now have our predators. We can dismount all those guys because they are kind of weaker than predators. Put predators on the walls. There we go. That's artillery. That's artillery as well. Alright, let's get some more predators, I guess, and we can get some stalkers here. And maybe some anti-air stuff. Okay, we have actually our, what is it called? Warbirds, which is essentially assault units. They can fly very quickly, and they have only 4 bombs, but they can do quite significant damage, so we can try to attack him now. Unless he already built something anti-air. No, it doesn't look so. So let's see what can we damage here. Let's damage the medium hub. I don't want his medium hub, right? Unless I actually stop them, they will go refuel and then continue attacking the same target, which is quite nice, so you don't have to control them manually. Okay. Do we have more? Yeah, there we go. You go to the wall. Okay, so we have a pretty decent army here. Which I think, go there, attack those guys. So he already started attacking me in small groups. Yeah, he's pretty good at that. Okay, you go here. Let's group those guys into... Oh yeah, we have those as well. 4 more predators. That should be a hefty army, so we can try to attack him. Let's group it into 1. So what's cool about the UI here is that you actually have these hotkeys, which I assume was inspired by Dota-like games. So you can use Q, W, E, R, and T to quickly build and research stuff. So you can build structures with Q. Then you have 3 sections. So let's say I want to build a new large hub. I press Q again, and then I press T. And here we go, I have a large hub. Yeah, it perfectly fits here, so let's build a large hub then. let's try to build an epic unit, which is like the most powerful unit each faction has. And meanwhile, we can take my army and try to harass him maybe a bit. So let's go here. Alright, so meanwhile we can have a look at the tech upgrades, which are split into several categories. Each category is related to those units you have. Light, heavy, air, and then the economic. So for economic you have stuff like, auto repair, that hangar repairs the docked aircraft. Armored casing, basically harvesters are tougher, or the small hub gains armor and slowly repairs everything connected to them and themselves. And I mean, and you can get only one per each category, and what's interesting is that you can basically specialize in what you want to do. Okay, where's my army? Let's go here, yeah, let's kill him. So let's say here are the upgrades that allow commandos to explode themselves when they are killed. So you can, build an army of commandos and send them like to suicidal task or whatever. Okay, let's go there. We cannot go there, right? Yep, that's a bad idea. Okay, you kill them. Or alternatively, you can gain an upgrade for avalanches that gain ability to move and fire. Avalanches is not the hailstorm, it was the, I think, anti-air units. And then you get target acquisition, which allows predators, instead of 4 shots that they shoot in a volley, to shoot them separately and retarget to 4 targets instead of 1, which is, I think, really awesome. So let's get that one. The cool thing about the upgrades is that you can actually change them. So when you are, say you took the upgrade that upgrades your, what's it called, the predators, and then all of a sudden you're out of predators because the enemy destroyed them, and you want to change it, you actually can. So you can undo the upgrade once it's done and then pick another one. Obviously you will need to spend some time gaining the money required to actually research something, and upgrades are not very cheap. Let's get our planes and bang. Those was anti-air units and they cannot shoot into the land. Okay, that's maybe not my best idea. Come on, birdies, kill those guys. Come on. There we go, Bill. Come on, bomb them. Where are they? Yeah, destroy them. There we go. So where's our bomber? Oh shit, they have anti-air units. No, you go back. No. Okay, anti-air units can crank your planes down very quickly. Okay, yeah, land down here. Okay, we have our large hub, so we can actually build a large factory here, and all 4 additions or attachments. After we do that, we actually should be able to build an epic unit, which in case of humans is a sort of a mobile base that can produce pretty much everything, but it's extremely expensive as well. Okay, so we can repair this stuff for now. As you can see, the fields are as well kind of depleting, but the interesting thing is that they don't deplete completely. So once it's depleted, it will regain the resources over time. So you can actually wait a bit and get more resources from it. So it's not necessary to sell everything and then move to another place. You just have to basically hold out a bit. Okay, what I need to build alpha actually. What am I missing? Large factory. Is it not allowed, or is it just because it's not finished?
Large factory complete.
Okay, I cannot build alphas. What? Why? Large factory. That is strange. I cannot show you alpha now for some reason. I did selected the alphas allowed, right? Alright, but well, alpha is basically an ultimate unit that is very large, very bulky, and does a lot of damage, but very slow to move, so you have to be very careful about how you actually use it and when. And yeah, that's essentially the beta fraction, mostly focused on satellites, so creating those hubs all over the place and using the walls to build defenses. You can actually build a proper wall, not just you know, the small pods where you can mount units. So it can be a wall, and then you can make a gate there if you want to fend off completely. But it's actually, in the beginning, it's very expensive, and it's easier to just build those tiny pillars, I guess. Yeah, so it's this is the beta faction. I guess, I mean, I would probably need another 15 minutes to win the game, so let's exit and have a look at the other factions really quickly, because the humans, for example, are very similar to this one. They just have a different way that their base functions. Okay, let's surrender and have a look at the humans. As you can see, the game does have some frame rate drops as well when there's a lot of special effects or when there's a lot of units on the screen. So for example, in the latest missions where I played as a goo and I had tons of units on screen, I did have a pretty terrible frame rate. Not sure what's going on here. Okay, let's do a different map. Let's say do Mountain Pass. Wait, let's go back and see. Probably it's gonna take too long to get the ultimate units, so let's do it random, and then let's put it on easy as well, otherwise I'll get destroyed. So let's try humans now. Humans is a more, let's say more, how to say. So the beta are a faction that is able to move around a lot. Yeah? They can create those hubs and build around them pretty much anywhere where they can see. You don't need to have anything specific nearby to actually build there. Humans, on the other end, are more centralized. So you have your central base that, or central core, I think it's called, that provides you the power that you need to build stuff. And you build it. Everything that you build needs to be connected to this core. Okay, so let's build this refinery. Okay, there we go. Refinery is ready. So if we now build a factory, you can see that we have several points that are connected to it. So we can actually connect it to refinery, for example. And then it will have 2 more points where we can connect stuff. And then you have these conduits that you can build that are basically extensions. So conduits essentially act as wires for your energy, or I mean it's a conduit for your energy, and all the buildings that you construct has to be connected to them to function. So let's build a silo here. We already have he's a goo. Oh, god damn it, no, you go away. So he's somewhere. Okay, I think we need to repair that. There we go. Okay, we completed the factory, so we can now build human units. The units are pretty actually similar to what the beta has, maybe slightly different in design, but the main roles of the units are pretty much the same, and they don't have anything very unique about them. So we have a revolver, which is basic anti-armor units, the same as the what was the name of it, the 2-legged robot from the betas. We have a trident, which is the same as the commando. Then we have a dagger, which is the stealth, like the ground scout unit, and we have a longbow, which is anti-air unit, tanks, artilleries, and siege units, the same. Then bombers, scouts, and heavy fighters, exactly the same. And then you have Alpha, which is this ultimate unit, which is this thing is like very different from what the betas have actually. So if betas have this ultimate unit is like large moving fortress, then here is just like really huge exoskeleton that shoots lasers out of his eyes, I guess, or maybe mouth, I'm not sure. Okay, so we can actually build some sentinels. So the humans use turrets for defense. So they don't have this feature with units mounting to the walls, but they do have sentinels that can attack. I mean, they are pretty powerful. So we can build some here and there. We are pretty low on finances, and let's see, is there anything yeah, there is another interesting thing about the this faction, is that once you extended the conduit and once you build something, say I build the heavy sentinel there at the beginning of the game to defend my base. Okay, do we have enough? Yeah, wait, oh, let's, okay. Good, they killed him. Alright, let's see. we are not protected from there. Let's put them there. Alright, so heavy sentinels should finish quite soon. Let's actually group them. Okay, come on. 9 seconds. There we go, that should do it. So let's say I built it here in the very beginning and I wanted to protect my core, but then I expanded quite a lot more and now I want to protect this place. So what I can do is actually teleport it to a new location using this teleport button, which spends a few seconds and then just teleports the whole building to the new place. And you can do this with everything aside from your core, obviously, which is, I think, really cool mechanic. So it actually allows you to, say, build very long conduits, but you have to be actually careful with it because conduits are, they have only 250 health and really easily breakable, so you have to guard them. But if it's a, say, heavy fire zone, then you can actually build some turrets here and then just move it to the closest possible location on the conduit, and that can give you some advantage. So this, I think, is a pretty cool mechanic. Aside from that, they have an interesting tech upgrade. So since you cannot really create those hubs and move the location of your harvesters or your refineries, what you can do is you can research this harvester stealth upgrade, and that would mean that your harvesters would gain stealth. So if I say go here to open the vision, which I need to actually build the new harvester, so we'll build a new refinery here. Then I can just say, okay, harvesters go here, and since the harvesters will have health, they will actually be able to easily get to this extractor and get the resources, of course, unless the extractor itself does not get destroyed. Air units are pretty much the same as I already mentioned. Structures are very similar as well, so you have the same tank, artillery, air, and stealth attachments. You have turrets, obviously, instead of the stuff that the betas have, and then you do have walls too, but those walls are more like, they just stop the enemies from moving through them, but not your units. And they do have one more thing that is okay, let's build. I guess we can sell that, I don't need that. They do have one more special building, which is teleport, which allows you to basically teleport. Okay, let's stop here. Yeah, you can go there. You will get murdered by my turrets. Sentinels are pretty good at handling enemies, especially in the very early stages, so they don't let you harass too much. So you have a teleporter, which allows you to teleport locations to any location, teleport your units to any location that you actually can see. So if I say build a, let's build, okay, we need to first finish large factory. And I think for this we need to cancel our upgrade here, it's too expensive. Yeah, so we finish that, then we can build an air pad, we can build a scout, and after that we can actually build a teleport, send a scout to the enemy base, and then teleport all of our troops, well, not all actually, I think it allows teleportation of up to 6 units to the enemy base, and then strike him from behind, which is, I think, can lead to very interesting strategies. And this is, this is why I was saying that in case of combating with humans or goo, you have to be careful how you defend your place, because it's not just enough to ward off this entry points and that's it. You have to actually be careful about where the scouts fly, where does the enemy can see, and so on. Okay, let's try to no, wait, what I need, I'm missing air attachment. Okay, let's do air attachment. More enemies incoming. Nope, you are not gonna do that. Okay, so while it's building, what can I say about the game in general? Well, I played about 8 hours in a campaign and I had a lot of fun playing it. It really feels like old Command and Conquer game. And there's way less micro than in something like StarCraft, and I personally like that. So if you're into micro, then it's probably not something you want to play. The games are pretty slow paced. It usually takes 30 minutes or more to complete the game. Or maybe, okay, it took for me, let's put it that way. Maybe because I'm just horrible in strategy games. That's why I usually play with a AI and usually not with a hard one. So yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun and a lot of would say nostalgic feelings on you know, the way that the old strategy games worked and how they felt when you played them. Okay, now we can actually build teleporter. Let's do it here. It's pretty expensive and pretty large. We still get actually enough so we can build some tanks maybe. There we go. And we can... Let's build a scout. So yeah, as you can see, this the humans are actually more focused on, can be focused on stealth. So you can actually create a scout stealth and then harvesters with stealth and a lot of different other things. Be very sneaky about how you approach the enemy. I can see a lot of, you know, variety of strategies developed with using all this tech. So let's use our scout, and as you can see, the range is pretty large. Okay, now you stay here. Where's my tanks? So we will send a couple of tanks, I guess, and maybe a couple of those guys as well into the teleport. And then try to attack the base just to show you how the teleporter works. Okay, there's some enemy units here. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the forests. This game actually has forests. If you played any Dota-like game, you know exactly how it functions. So as soon as you enter the forest, you will see everything inside. But if you are outside of the forest and don't have the specific enhancement, maybe I can show you it here. You won't actually know what's in the forest. So let's demonstrate this by using this small unit. Okay, let's find the enemy meanwhile. The teleporter is finished. Nice. So we can put all those guys in there, and we will have, I think, still a couple of places left. Yep, but okay, we can try to do it with 4. Okay. I think the enemy should be somewhere here, right? Maybe we can actually do it. Yeah, there we go. There's a goo. So we can teleport here, for example. Stop here. So hit Q, and since we see this place, we can teleport right over here and then go and attack the mother goo that he has here. There we go. Luckily for us, it's pretty... and it can climb mountains. Yes, this is one of the goo features, and it's pretty damn hard to chase them around. Okay, but... oh, he's already destroying my base, and I'm probably screwed because I just sent my guys with a teleport. So, but we can actually do that. Wonder if he will attack this. He should. Yeah, okay, that's quite good. Maybe I'm not screwed, but anyway, you know, it would take at least 20 more minutes to actually do something to him, or at least start winning. So let's jump out of the game and have a look at the... Oh, no, not restart. Let's do surrender. Have a look at the last faction that this game has to offer, which is Goo. Which is, I guess, the most interesting one and the most non-traditional one for pretty much any RDS. I haven't seen anything like this ever, I think. Okay, let's pick this map this time. And we are... Notice that frame drop again, not sure what's going on here. So they're gonna be random, whatever, and then easy, yes please. Let's be green, why not? And let's jump into the game and see how the Goo faction works. So if the humans are very static faction and they require to be connected to their base all the time, and then we have the beta, which is more mobile because they can build those satellite hubs. Then Goo is the most mobile faction that actually does not have base at all. All you have is this mass of Goo, which is called Mother Goo, that you can move around and use to actually consume resources. Okay. And the unit production actually works in an interesting manner as well. So here's my Mother Goo, and all I have to do is go to this resource pool and start eating it. I can as well use enemies and eat enemies to gain resources, which works, but obviously, you know, it's a risk because I can just get murdered horribly. But I don't want to do that. So yeah, let's meanwhile walk around. You have a nice layout of all your mothers here, and you can see the resources right here, because you don't have like a traditional resource pool like the other factions have. But you have the size of mothers, which is depiction here, and you can see you can spend this size to build various things. Actually never, so since I haven't finished the campaign till the last mission, which usually allows you to build the ultimate unit for each faction. I haven't built the ultimate for Goo faction, which is Proto Purger, which is pretty big, and I tried to kill him in one of the missions but failed, but luckily was able to complete the mission without it. Oh yeah, we can actually show you the forest, so you can see I'm in a forest now. And if I just stay here, then unless they come into the forest, they won't be able to find me. Alright, so we can build some units here. It's done in this way. So we build this small Protean, which is a mass that can move around like your typical unit. It's pretty fast, actually. It can climb mountains, and it cannot, so none of the Goo units can actually cross the water, so they have to go around. It's one of the limitations. But you can go through mountains, which is curious. And this small Protean unit can morph into a variety of other units, which is Drovers is the infantry units like commandos. Then you have a Strider, which is the basic anti-armor unit. You have Radiants, which is scouts, which have extended vision, can raise elevations and go and see what's in the bushes. And then you have Tempest, which is the anti-air unit. I guess let's start with those little guys and send them out as well. One of them somewhere here in the forest to just see when our enemies are coming. So we can build more. As you can see, when I do that, the Mother Goo actually decreases in size. We can create our little army here. We are now slightly defended. And we can now actually start creating other Mother Goos, so you can split yourself into another one to move to a second pool of resources, and in this way you will obviously gain more resources and expand faster. The research works pretty much in the same way, so you have several categories that have excluding research plans, I guess, and you need to earn this tech credit to actually research units, so it works a bit differently. And since I played only a couple of missions with Goo, I'm not exactly sure right now how this works. I am not 100% sure how you gain this tech credit. Maybe by going here. No, you go away. Yeah, I'm gonna kill you now here. See, those, as you can see, those infantry units from Goo are not exactly very good. Okay, can we get another Mother? Let's see. I mean, this is, the most unique faction that game has to offer, because the previous two are quite similar. Aside from being static and a bit more dynamic with the hubs, it's the units and everything else is very close. This one, on the other hand, plays in an entirely different manner and has entirely different strategy that you have to use actually to expand. Okay, I guess we can maybe go here. Looks like a nice spot. He should be there, so he should be probably expanding either here or here, right? Okay, and meanwhile we can... What can we do? A tech upgrade? Not yet, so come on, climb here. And in the case if they try to attack, we can actually climb to this mountain, so I can show you most of the Goo units can actually scale to the mountains, which is, I think, pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. So we can actually hide from them here, and they won't be able to attack me unless they bring the air units, which is, I think, pretty awesome way to do things. Alright, let's get some more units here. Let's get some anti-air in case he brings someone flying. So those are can damage the air units pretty heavily, but very fragile to the ground damage. As you can see, they only have 100 HP. One more interesting point is that when you spawn units, they spawn with half HP and then gain it to 100. So if you are not careful and try to spawn them in the battle, that can end pretty sadly. I already tried that a couple of times. No, stop colliding. So yeah, as you might have noticed as well, there's a collision between units, so you can actually block off path and do crazy stuff like this, especially while harassing. For example, blocking the harvesters. Okay, let's get some defenses set up here. Okay, those tiny units cannot go up the mountains, but as you can see, the Protean mass can actually climb up there. Okay, what do we have? We can build more. Okay, I guess we can make a small army here and then try to... Oh, he killed my scout, okay. So we can build a tiny army here and then try to maybe attack them or at least harass. And you know, this is the Goo faction in essence. You build more mothers to capture more resource points, and in this way, we have guys here. Go, come on, go through the forest and kill them. It's not very good. So you're sort of have to expand very quickly to actually win with this race. It's pretty unique to the way that you cannot just create your base and build around it. We can actually capture this point as well. Do we have enough for a second mother? Yeah, we almost do. Nice. So we can actually, as you can see, I can control it with the keyboard completely and spawn the mother. After you spawn it, it gets automatically selected, so I can just bring it here, and then I have a nice nice way to control it, basically. Okay, we can leave those guys here to defend, I guess. And let's try to upgrade something. So what do we have here? Yeah, whatever. So the upgrades are very similar as well to the ones that the other races have. How can he see me in the forest? What the hell? Please die. Yeah, so this is the Goo faction. Pretty unique if you ask me. This is the... it definitely has a one specific play style because you cannot really do anything else with it. You actually have to expand, have to capture other resource points, have to create more mothers, have to create more units, or you will be dead. Another hand that actually forces you to play in an entirely different manner, which is pretty cool. The question is, would you like a manner like this? Because I know for a fact that there are some people who would not like a way to play the... no, I won't chase him. You can actually use this Mother Goose to crawl onto the unit to kill him, which is, I think, a very interesting way to do things. Okay, let's try to build some maybe heavy... Oh, no. Yes, let's do this. And then let's build some heavy ones. Yep, please defend this. Yeah, so this is pretty much Goo faction. Expand, create more units. The more you have mothers, the more you can produce proteans. The more you have mothers, the more you can produce the proteans, small and large ones, and then you can morph into Proto-Purger, which is the ultimate unit. So we can actually try to do that. I don't think we have to wait too long for the 4 bars because we already have 3 here. So we have to wait a bit more. And then it's an intermediate form. Okay. So do I have to do something else? Probably yes. Well, let's not try that. It probably will take a lot of time. So this is Grey Goo. It is pretty good. Aside from that problem with the frame rate that you can see, it's kind of all over the place. Most of the time it is 60 FPS for me and it works fine. And again, as I said, developers are aware of this issue and they are working on a fix. At the moment you have 8 maps for skirmishes. As well for the online. You have 15 missions in the campaign. I still haven't beaten it in 8 hours and I was playing it on easy, please note that. It's not very nice. I tried multiplayer games and people are very horrible there, or I guess I am very horrible there because I don't know how to win there. I was destroyed immediately. But the netcode works perfectly. I did not notice any lags or issues there. The game has Steam Workshop support. So it's actually, I think there was already like 4 or 5 maps there. So you can build, and it has a map editor, so you can actually build your own map, which is, I think, a pretty cool thing for a strategy to have. So there's definitely going to be more maps and we're going to see more content for it. And hopefully developers keep expanding and developing it and adding more content, maybe a few more expansions would be nice to see because the campaign is actually pretty good. So I'm intending to finish it and I enjoyed every minute playing it. So Grey Goo is available on Steam right now. It is totally worth it if you are a RES fan. Thank you for watching and as always, see you during next update. Bye!